Chosen one. Pause. Heaven has quieted the noise around you so that this word can pierce through your spirit. This is not coincidence. This is divine timing. Something inside you has been stirring. A silent knowing that what once was cannot remain. The ache, the confusion, the endless waiting, it all has purpose. You are standing in the middle of a sacred interruption. God has placed his hand upon your timeline and said, "Enough now," begins the unveiling. No, you've felt invisible, overlooked, misplaced. You've wondered if heaven even heard the cries you buried beneath your breath. But the truth is this: heaven never lost track of you. Every unanswered prayer was being stored. Every heartbreak was being harvested for glory. You were not being delayed. You were being refined. The silence that terrified you was not absence. It was incubation. Chosen one. When heaven sets its gaze upon you, ordinary life begins to unravel. People fall away. Opportunities close. And everything that once made sense dissolves into mystery. You thought you were losing control, but in truth, you were losing illusion. The divine plan was never chaos. It was construction. Heaven was clearing the ground so your purpose could rise unshaken. You have been asking, why does it hurt so much to obey? Because obedience is the soil where destiny takes root. The pruning was painful because your branches carry potential beyond what you imagined. What was stripped away was never meant to sustain you in the next dimension. The same power that allowed you to survive will now empower you to soar. This message comes not to inspire you, but to awaken you. You are being summoned. The mantle that once waited for your readiness has found you ready now. What others call coincidence, heaven calls confirmation. The weariness in your spirit is not weakness. It's a sign that you've reached the edge of transformation. Look around. The atmosphere has shifted. Heaven has turned its face toward you. The winds of alignment are blowing, and all that was out of order is finding its divine rhythm. The questions that haunted you will soon find answers, not in explanation, but in manifestation. God has not been silent. He's been speaking through circumstances, through pauses, through the ache in your own chest. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind." Receive that. Chosen one. The trembling that once bound you has no power now. Fear no longer has authority over your steps. The same spirit that hovered over creation now dwells within you, and it is commanding you to rise. This is your season to move boldly, to walk in faith when logic says, wait. You are not called to blend in, you are called to stand out. The world will not understand the fire that burns within you, because it is not of this world. Every step you take from this day forward carries divine backing. Walk as though heaven itself marches beside you. For indeed, it does. Do not apologize for your light. The darkness will always be uncomfortable when true illumination arrives. What you carry exposes lies, reveals truth, and awakens dormant spirits around you. That's why resistance has been fierce, because your very presence announces the arrival of God's order where chaos once reigned. Chosen one. Heaven is counting on your obedience. Your yes has more power than you realize. It breaks generational curses, shifts bloodlines, and opens doors for those who will follow after you. The kingdom moves when you move. Every act of faith echoes through eternity and invites heaven's glory to touch the earth once more. So stand tall. Beloved, the shaking you feel is not destruction, it's transformation. The walls of your old season are falling, and a greater strength is rising within. The time for hesitation is over. Step into your divine identity, for the heavens have already declared, the time is now. So breathe. Heaven has not forgotten you. The stage is being lit. The spotlight of purpose is upon you. What was hidden will now be revealed. What was delayed will now be delivered. You are stepping into the now of God, where promises turn into reality and prayers turn into power. If this word resonates in your spirit, don't let it fade into the scroll. Like, share, and subscribe, so this message can reach other chosen ones awakening around the world. And in the comments, type 111, a prophetic sign that you are stepping out of fear and into divine purpose right now. Chosen one, inside you there is a battle no one else can see. You smile on the outside, but your spirit has been at war, torn between surrender and survival, between what you know and what you feel. You've been asking, why do I feel such turmoil when I'm trying to do what's right? It's because the war within you is not flesh against flesh, it is destiny against distraction. Beloved, this is why you've been feeling exhausted for no reason. It's not just physical tiredness, it's spiritual warfare. The enemy cannot take your destiny, but he can drain your focus. That's why your peace feels fragile, your confidence inconsistent. You are being tested at the level of your calling. What you're facing is not punishment. It's proof that your spirit carries something powerful enough to threaten the realm of darkness. You must understand this. Spiritual warfare doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. It convinces you to give up slowly, to settle quietly, to live half awake. But heaven is calling you to rise above that inner chaos. You are not at war with people, you are at war with patterns, thoughts, and fears that have disguised themselves as logic. The moment you begin to see beyond emotion, you begin to win. Every sleepless night, every sudden wave of anxiety, every unexplainable sadness, it's the push and pull between who you were and who you are becoming. The old version of you is crumbling, and the new one is emerging, stronger and freer. Don't mistake this shaking for destruction. It's the breaking of the shell that once contained you. Chosen one. This battle is necessary. Without pressure, the oil cannot flow. Without resistance, strength cannot form. You were never meant to live in constant peace before purpose. Real peace comes after the war within has bowed to obedience. Heaven is not asking you to fight harder, it's asking you to stand firmer. The Spirit of God is whispering even now, do not fear what is rising within you. This shaking is your spirit aligning with truth. Every contradiction inside you, the doubt, the longing, the frustration is being used to sculpt your faith. You are learning to trust, even when clarity hasn't come. You've been trying to fix yourself with logic. But logic cannot heal what only revelation can. You are not broken, you are being rebuilt. The tools heaven uses often look like storms, but they create stability where you once had fragility. The confusion is temporary, the transformation is eternal. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 34, verse 18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Let that truth settle deep within you. You are not losing your mind. You are being met by mercy. God is closer to you now than in your moments of strength. When you collapse into His presence, heaven doesn't judge you, it restores you. The battle is not meant to destroy you, but to drive you deeper into dependence. Every chosen vessel walks through this tension. Even prophet doubted. Even kings trembled. The mark of being chosen isn't constant confidence, it's consistent surrender. You keep showing up, even when you don't feel worthy. You keep choosing light, even when darkness tempts you to hide. That persistence is what terrifies hell. Do not despise the war, it is shaping your authority. Those who never fought in darkness cannot lead others into light. You are learning compassion through your pain, discernment through your confusion, and strength through your scars. Heaven is not interested in perfect vessels, but purified ones. That's why the fire inside you burns. It's cleansing, not killing. Soon, you'll look back and realize that every inner storm brought you closer to stillness. The voices that once accused you will fade beneath the sound of His truth. You'll wake one morning and realize that the heaviness has lifted, not because the circumstances changed, but because your spirit remembered its source. Chosen one, do not retreat from this inner war, rise within it. Let the tears fall if they must. Let silence do its work. This pain has purpose, and your surrender has power. Heaven is not asking for perfection, only permission to finish what it started in you. When you finally stop fighting yourself, you will hear the divine whisper, peace. Be still, and you'll realize the storm was never around you, it was inside you. But now, it's bowing. The hidden battle is turning into hidden strength. You are being transformed from within. The world may not see it yet, but heaven does. Soon, your inner peace will become your outer power. And when that happens, every dark thing that once haunted you will flee, not because you shouted louder, but because you finally believed who you truly are, chosen one. The shaking you feel around you is not chaos, it is divine separation. Heaven is cutting ties that once comforted you, but now confine you. You have noticed how certain voices grow silent, how familiar faces seem distant, how the places that once felt safe now feel too small. This isn't rejection, it's redirection. You are being pulled out of what is common so that you can step into what is called. You've prayed for purpose, and heaven is answering not with applause, but with separation. The truth is, some doors only open after others have closed. You can't carry everyone into the next dimension of your destiny. God is trimming your circle so that your focus can grow sharper. Every relationship, every environment, every habit that no longer matches your future is being divinely removed. You've wondered, why is everyone changing? But the real question is, why are you still trying to stay the same? The grace that covered your past season no longer fits where you're going. The oil that flowed then cannot carry you now. You've outgrown the place of your old comfort, and heaven refuses to let you shrink back just to stay accepted. Chosen one. Understand this. Separation always feels like loss before it reveals itself as liberation. When God calls you higher, He doesn't always explain, He simply removes. The voices that once encouraged you may now misunderstand you. The people you thought would celebrate your growth may distance themselves. Don't chase what God has dismissed. Let it fall away. You cannot soar if you keep reaching for anchors. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. The silence is not emptiness. It is elevation. Heaven is training you to discern who truly walks with you and who only walks with your benefits. When the light of destiny shines on you, shadows appear. Don't be afraid of what's exposed. It's God showing you what can no longer hide in your next season. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 2. Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years, to humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart, whether or not you would keep his commands. The wilderness is never punishment, it's preparation. You're not meant to die there, you're meant to discover there. In isolation, your identity is clarified. When everyone walks away, you finally see who never leaves. The quiet becomes holy because in that stillness, you start to recognize the voice that's been guiding you all along. You are walking through a holy pruning. God is removing counterfeit connections so the real ones can find you. He's teaching you that loyalty doesn't always equal destiny. Some people loved who you were, but they can't handle who you're becoming. Don't grieve what you lose. Thank God for the space it creates. For new oil, new vision, new partnerships divinely orchestrated and perfectly timed. You must remember, isolation is often the birthplace of revelation. Moses was alone when the bush burned. Elijah was alone when the whisper came. Jesus withdrew to the wilderness before the miracles began. And now, it's your turn. The silence you feel is heaven's way of speaking, louder than ever before. You're not being abandoned, you're being anointed. Chosen one. Let go of your fear of solitude. The world has taught you that loneliness means lack. But in the kingdom, it means intimacy. God often hides his chosen ones so he can heal them away from noise, comparison, and opinion. You're in a divine cocoon. It may feel dark now, but transformation is happening inside you. Soon, the shell will break and you'll rise with wings forged in obedience. Your task now is simple. Don't fight the separation. Don't run back to what God rescued you from. Don't water relationships that have already withered. Stand still, breathe, and trust that heaven knows what it's doing. The pruning is proof of promotion. So when you feel that familiar ache, the loneliness, the silence, the uncertainty, remind yourself, this is not the end. This is the in-between, the place where the old you fades and the chosen you emerges. Now, take this moment, breathe deep, and let this truth settle in your heart. You are not losing people, you are finding purpose. You are not being pushed away, you are being pulled higher. This is the holy separation before the divine revelation. If this word speaks to your spirit, write it as a declaration below. I'm still here. Because when you type those words, you declare to heaven and to every dark power that tried to silence you, you survived the stripping. You endured the silence. And you are still standing in faith. You are still here, chosen, refined, and ready for what comes next. Chosen one. The fire you've walked through was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to define you. You wondered why the heat intensified, why everything familiar seemed to crumble. But what looked like loss was really refinement. Heaven placed you in the furnace, not to burn you, but to burn away what could not stay. Every heartbreak, betrayal, and unanswered question was fuel for your purification. You see, gold is never pure until it faces the flame. The impurities must rise to the surface so they can be removed. That's why the season you just came through felt relentless, because God saw more in you than you saw in yourself. The intensity of your trials was not a reflection of weakness, but of worth. Only what carries great potential is tested so greatly. There were moments when you thought, I can't survive this. And yet, here you are, stronger, clearer, deeper. What was meant to break you became the very thing that built you. You didn't just endure the fire, you became it. Every time you refused to quit, every time you chose faith over fear, the flames purified another layer of your soul. Chosen one, your pain was holy, not because suffering is good, but because it was used for good. The refining fire exposes what's real. It shows what cannot be shaken. Every false identity, every dependence on approval, every illusion of control gone. What remains now is authentic faith. The kind that doesn't just sing in blessing but still believes in burning. When you cried, heaven listened. When you fell, heaven waited. When you doubted, heaven whispered, stay. You thought the silence meant abandonment, but silence was strategy. God was not ignoring you, He was transforming you quietly. Like a potter shaping clay, while the vessel cannot yet see the masterpiece forming. We are reminded through the writings of Peter in the first epistle, chapter 1, verse 7. These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold, though your faith is far more precious than gold. The furnace season is painful because it isolates you. Those who once walked with you might not understand the heat you're under. They might question why you withdrew, why you changed, why your words carry more weight now. But that's the mark of someone who's been through holy fire. Nothing superficial can survive in your presence anymore. You now carry authenticity that others can feel even before you speak. The refining doesn't stop when the flames fade. It continues in the quiet afterward. The ashes of what you lost still whisper of what was, but now they no longer define you. The fire didn't take it traded. It exchanged pain for power, fear for faith, identity for intimacy. You've become the evidence that God still resurrects what the world writes off. Chosen one, take a moment to remember who you were before the burning began. The timid, uncertain, approval-seeking version of you, that's the one the fire came to free. Now, your words carry weight because they've been baptized in truth. Your heart beats differently because it's been broken and remade by divine hands. The refining fire also reveals what belongs and what doesn't. Some people left when the flames rose, but those meant to remain stood closer, praying through the smoke. The fire reveals true loyalty. It burns away imitation. You no longer have to guess who's for you. The heat exposed it. Now you understand why you had to walk alone, why doors closed, why the ground seemed to disappear. The furnace was the only place where your foundation could be rebuilt on something unshakable. Every lesson etched itself into your spirit. Every tear watered the soil for new growth. And now, the very pain that once humbled you has become your power. Chosen one, don't resent the fire. Thank it. Without it, you would have stayed hidden beneath layers of comfort and compromise. The flames stripped you back to your essence, and what's left is unbreakable. You are fire-forged, faith-filled, and heaven-approved. One day soon, you will look back and understand that this refining wasn't punishment, it was prophecy. It foretold who you were becoming, a vessel pure enough to carry glory, a voice strong enough to shatter lies, and a heart soft enough to heal others through compassion born of pain. The fire was not your ending, it was your becoming. And now, as the smoke clears, heaven looks upon you and smiles. You survived what others did not. You rose from the ashes, not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to be, chosen one. This is the moment when the veil lifts, and your true identity begins to shine through the cracks of everything that once tried to hide you. The fire has done its work, and now you are emerging refined, radiant, real. You are no longer defined by what happened to you, but by what heaven placed within you. The pain that once silenced you has become the very language through which God now speaks. You may not see it yet, but the heavens have been whispering your name in the corridors of eternity. You are part of a divine lineage, a royal bloodline of those who carried light through generations of darkness. There is something sacred about your journey. Every detour, every delay, every heartbreak was the sculptor's hand chiseling away the excess so the masterpiece could emerge. You've walked through storms that others didn't survive, and still, you stand like a tree that lost its leaves, yet kept its roots deep in unseen soil. The wind thought it could tear you apart, but instead, it taught you how to sway without breaking. That's who you are now, a living parable of endurance, a testimony carved from thunder, according to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 16. For though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again. You fell. Yes, but not forever. Every fall carried a hidden lesson. Every bruise became a map back to purpose. Heaven never demanded perfection from you, only persistence. And you have persisted. The light you carry today was born in the dark, and that's why it cannot be dimmed. Beloved, people may not understand your transformation. Some will question your change. Others will doubt your sincerity. But those who carry the spirit of discernment will recognize it. They will see the glow of resurrection in your eyes. The world values polished surfaces. Heaven values purified hearts. You are no longer just surviving. You are walking evidence that grace is stronger than the grave. Think of your life like a river. There were seasons when the current was gentle and predictable, and others when it raged with uncontrollable force. But whether calm or chaotic, the river never forgot its destination. It carved through mountains, cut through stone, and still flowed forward. You are that river, and the Spirit is your current. Don't resist where it leads. Every twist and turn is part of your divine geography. Chosen one. The awakening of your identity is not just for you, it's for others. You are the mirror through which lost souls will see their reflection and realize they, too, are chosen. Every word you speak, every act of kindness, every seed you sow becomes light, rippling through the hearts of those still in shadow. The world is hungry for authenticity, and your story feeds that hunger. Your voice, your time, your compassion, they are lamps lit by heaven's flame. And when you share your light, darkness retreats. Every share of truth, every small act of generosity, every message you help spread becomes another spark added to this divine wildfire of hope. That is why your support matters, not for fame, not for recognition, but because every bit of light we carry together becomes a torch in someone else's night. So if this message speaks to your heart, let it live beyond you. Like the river that nourishes everything it touches, allow this word to flow forward. Like, share, subscribe, not as routine, but as reverence. These simple acts are the modern-day ways of planting seeds in digital soil, where souls can find the light they've been seeking. And if you ever feel led to give, to donate, to pour back into the well that has poured into, you do it not from obligation, but from overflow. Every drop returns, multiplied. Every seed sown finds its season of harvest. Remember, the kingdom grows not by force, but by faithfulness. Every time you participate by listening, by supporting, by sharing, you become a co-laborer in the work heaven is doing through this message. This isn't about transaction, it's about transformation. You are helping carry divine words to ears that may never have heard them otherwise. Chosen one, never underestimate what you carry. Your obedience has weight in eternity. You are a vessel of restoration, a lighthouse built upon the foundation of grace. Keep standing tall, keep shining brightly, and keep believing that your light can reach farther than you'll ever see, because it will. And when the winds of doubt come again, and they will remember the tree, remember the river, remember the gold that glows, only because it once endured the fire. You are that gold. You are that river. You are that tree. Heaven looks at you and calls you enough. Chosen one. Something powerful is happening in the unseen realm around you. The chains that held your family line, the invisible cords that tied your heart to old patterns, heaven is breaking them right now. You may not feel it fully, but the shift has begun. The light within you is rising, pushing against the walls of bondage that once seemed unbreakable. What you are stepping into is not just freedom, it's divine inheritance. You've wondered why the same cycles kept repeating, the same heartbreak, the same financial struggle, the same battles of fear and guilt. These were not random, they were roots buried deep, passed down through generations, whispering that you'd never change. But heaven has chosen you as the breaker, the one who ends what began long before you were born. You are the generational turning point, the one heaven trusts with restoration. Beloved, you've carried burdens that weren't yours to carry. The enemy has fought your peace because your peace is contagious. He has tried to convince you that freedom is for others, but not for you. But the truth is this: what tormented your bloodline ends with you. What enslaved your ancestors bows to your obedience. You are walking in the authority of divine reversal. You have cried prayers that shook the gates of heaven, pleading not just for yourself but for your children, for your family, for those who never even prayed. Heaven heard. The chains didn't break because you shouted louder. They broke because your heart surrendered deeper. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 3, verse 19, "The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He enables me to tread on the heights." Do you understand what that means? It means you are not only being freed, you are being elevated. You are no longer crawling beneath the weight of what once bound you. You are climbing into the realm of purpose. What your ancestors could only dream, you will walk in. What they lost, you will reclaim. You are the fulfillment of prayers spoken generations ago. But freedom isn't silent. When heaven releases you, it doesn't whisper, it roars. Every step you take forward sends shockwaves through the spiritual world. The same hell that mocked you now trembles because it recognizes that you know who you are. You no longer walk as a victim of circumstance, but as a vessel of covenant. Chosen one. You are crossing thresholds that few dare to cross. Freedom costs surrender. And surrender means letting go of bitterness, fear, and guilt, those subtle chains disguised as safety. But as you release them, something happens. Your spirit begins to breathe again. You start to dream again. You begin to feel heaven's rhythm pulsing through your veins. That's what liberty feels like, not loud, but alive. You may still see some remnants of your old battles, but don't mistake them for defeat. They are the final echoes of an old order collapsing. When Israel left Egypt, Pharaoh chased them to the sea, but that was his last pursuit. What you are facing right now might look familiar, but it's on its way to final extinction. The Red Sea before you will not drown you. It will bury your past. This is why obedience matters more than ever. Heaven's freedom always flows through yielded hearts. The moment you decide, no more half-believing, no more halfway surrender, everything shifts. When you choose obedience, the locks of darkness lose their authority over you. You walk not as one hoping for release, but as one already liberated. Listen carefully. Beloved, the sound of breaking isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the sigh of your soul when you finally stop running and say, "Yes, Lord." That sound shakes eternity. That whisper becomes a weapon. That yes writes new history. The chains are falling, even now, mental, emotional, generational. What once defined your limits will soon become your testimony. You are no longer bound by fear, rejection, or lack. You are stepping into the full measure of what grace purchased for you long ago. This moment is holy. Breathe it in. Heaven has waited for this agreement for you, to finally see yourself as heaven sees you. You are not bound, broken, or forgotten. You are chosen, released, and restored. Now, as a prophetic act of agreement, write this number below, 444. It symbolizes divine restoration and heavenly order returning to your life. Every time you see it, remember what was scattered is now aligned. What was lost is being redeemed. And what was locked has opened by divine decree. Type 444 as your declaration that you walk in freedom, in fullness, in divine alignment. Because, chosen one, the chains are gone, and this time they will never return. Chosen one, now that the chains have fallen, heaven begins the sacred work of preparation. The breaking was only the beginning. What comes next is the shaping. You are being positioned for divine assignment. Every delay you once resented was heaven rearranging your path for this very moment. You are stepping into a season where nothing will be wasted. Every tear, every trial, every loss will become a tool in God's hands. You may not realize it yet, but your preparation started long before you even knew what you were being prepared for. Every disappointment taught you endurance. Every closed door taught you discernment. Every heartbreak taught you compassion. Heaven's training rarely comes in comfort. It comes in lessons wrapped in pain. God has been teaching you how to lead without losing your humility, how to serve without seeking attention, how to love without expecting reward. There is purpose in your process. You were not overlooked. You were being observed. Heaven was testing not your strength, but your posture, Would you still worship when the promises seemed silent? Would you still obey when the way forward felt unclear? You didn't realize it. But those quiet moments of surrender were the greatest victories you've ever won. The world might measure success in applause, but heaven measures it in obedience. You've been in a classroom of divine mystery. Every unanswered question has been an invitation to trust. Every season that felt like failure was a rehearsal for faith. You've walked through the wilderness not as punishment, but as preparation, because purpose cannot flourish in the comfort zone. Growth always demands discomfort. Heaven is building something in you that will outlast you. You are being prepared to carry the weight of influence, the mantle of leadership, the responsibility of representing heaven's heart on earth. But before you can hold the crown, you must first bear the cross. That's why it's been so heavy lately, not because you're unworthy, but because your destiny requires strength forged in surrender. As the Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, 2nd book, chapter 4, verse 17, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." These troubles are not meaningless. They are forming the foundation for eternal weight glory that cannot be shaken. What you endure now is preparing you to stand where others fall. The storms you've faced were not random. They were rehearsals for responsibility. Heaven never entrusts authority to those who haven't first endured the furnace of refinement. Chosen one. It's time to see your life differently. The waiting room you despised is actually a workshop. Heaven has been molding your mind, sharpening your discernment, teaching you patience. What you perceive as delay is actually divine detail. God doesn't waste preparation on those who won't carry purpose well. He's been establishing roots so your influence can endure the storms ahead. You might still feel hidden, and that's by design. Hiddenness isn't punishment, it's protection. Seeds are hidden before they bloom. Soldiers are trained before they march. Heaven hides those it intends to reveal greatly. You are not behind. You are being built in silence for impact in public. In this sacred preparation, even the smallest acts matter. Your consistency when no one is watching. Your forgiveness when it costs you pride. Your discipline when no one applauds. These are the stones being laid beneath your destiny. The world celebrates moments. Heaven honors process. You are learning to value process. Chosen one. Don't rush it. The temptation to move before the appointed time is the enemy's oldest trick. He wants you to confuse momentum with maturity. But God's timing is flawless. Every unseen moment is an investment in stability. Every lonely prayer is building authority. You are being shaped not just for blessing, but to become a blessing. Heaven is aligning your skills with your spirit, your anointing with your assignment. Every gift within you is being awakened, one by one. The words you'll speak will carry power. The hands that once trembled will heal. The presence you bring will shift rooms, not because of who you are, but because of who moves through you. So hold steady. Don't despise the preparation. This quiet season is heaven's signature. Move, it refines. It readies. It reveals. Soon, you'll step into what you were made for, and everything will make sense. The waiting will prove worthwhile, and the scars will look like strategy. Beloved, heaven has not forgotten your name. The fire did not consume you because it was never meant to. It only refined you for assignment. You are the vessel now being filled for divine purpose. Keep listening. Keep yielding. Heaven is still preparing the stage. And when the curtain rises, you will understand why you had to be hidden first. Chosen one, now that you are being prepared, heaven begins to test the posture of your patience. This is the season when nothing seems to move, when prayers echo in silence, and the promises you cling to appear distant. Yet this waiting is not punishment, it is precision. Heaven is orchestrating every detail so that when the door opens, it does so without error. You are not being delayed, you are being developed. You've prayed for breakthrough, but heaven often answers such prayers with waiting, because waiting reveals what battle never could, the condition of your trust. It's easy to believe when everything blooms, but can you believe when the soil looks empty? The waiting season is not the absence of movement, it's the presence of maturation. You are learning to trust not in outcomes, but in the one who controls them. In this quiet tension, the divine refines your motives. God is not only preparing what's ahead, He's preparing who you'll be when you arrive there. If He gave you the promise too soon, you'd lose it to immaturity. If He opened the door before your heart was anchored, the very blessing meant to build you could break you. That's why heaven hides fulfillment behind patience. It's not cruelty, it's care. Chosen one, look around. It may feel as though life has paused, but in the unseen realm, heaven's construction continues. Every hidden detail of your destiny is being aligned with precision. You may not hear thunder or see miracles daily, but the stillness you walk through is the sacred space where heaven whispers direction, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. In the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 25, the Lord is good to those who wait for Him, to the soul who seeks Him. That single truth reshapes your waiting. Waiting is not passive, it's an act of worship. It's the steady choice to remain faithful when your flesh wants to rush. Heaven calls it endurance, the world calls it delay. But endurance births glory, while haste breeds regret. The true mark of maturity isn't how fast you move, but how deeply you trust, while still. Think about a seed. Once it's buried, there is silence, darkness, and pressure. From the outside, it looks like death, yet beneath the soil, a transformation unfolds. The roots deepen before the sprout breaks through. The deeper the root, the higher the reach. Likewise, your waiting is not wasted, it's rooting you for stability. Heaven is preparing you to bear fruit that remains, not temporary flashes of success. There's also a beauty hidden in slowness, in stillness. The noise fades, and you begin to discern the whispers of purpose. The relationships that remain during this time are purified, the desires of your heart are clarified, and your priorities are redefined. Waiting strips away everything unnecessary, so only truth remains. You might see others advancing, their lives seemingly flourishing, while yours feels motionless. But what appears as progress for others may only be decoration. Heaven deals with depth, not display. What's being built in you will last beyond applause. The silence that frustrates you today is constructing the authority you'll carry tomorrow. Chosen one, don't confuse inactivity with insignificance. The pause is sacred. Heaven often hides its greatest work in seasons of stillness. The most anointed vessels endured the longest waits. Abraham waited for a promise. Joseph waited in prison. David waited through rejection, and Jesus waited in obscurity for 30 years before public revelation. Heaven perfects purpose in time's embrace, not time's escape. This season is also teaching you one of heaven's rarest virtues, contentment, to rest in what is, even when what's promised hasn't arrived yet. Contentment is not giving up, it's giving in to God's timing, His methods, His wisdom. When you surrender the urge to control, peace replaces panic. That is where faith breathes. Chosen one. Your waiting is not empty, it's holy incubation. You are being trusted with delay because heaven knows you'll use it well. In the silence, your roots are gripping the rock of faith more tightly. Every time you choose to stay faithful, every morning you rise despite disappointment. Heaven records your endurance as worship. Soon, the stillness will shift. The same God who allows silence also commands sound. The same soil that hides you will one day reveal you. When the timing aligns, what seemed forgotten will unfold with effortless precision. But for now, wait well. Don't resent the process, respect it. Don't curse the slowness, cherish it. Heaven never rushes what it intends to last forever. Your waiting is your weapon. It confuses darkness because it expects light even when surrounded by shadow. It declares, I still believe, when everything suggests otherwise. That quiet faith moves mountains long before your feet ever climb them. So, chosen one, to stay grounded. Let patience finish its work. When the time comes, and it will, you'll see that this waiting was never wasted. It was always working for your good. Chosen one, this is the season when your voice begins to awaken. The world around you may still be silent, but heaven is stirring a sound within you. You've spent time hidden, purified, refined, and now you're being called to speak, to declare, to release what was birthed in the secret place. You are the voice in the wilderness, crying out not just words, but truth wrapped in fire. You were not chosen to echo others, you were chosen to carry revelation. The wilderness has trained your ears to recognize heaven's tone. The noise of opinion no longer sways you because you have learned the weight of stillness. The silence that once scared you now feels sacred because it's where you've met God face to face. Chosen one, you must understand that when heaven places a message within you, it will not always be comfortable. Prophetic voices rarely speak what is popular, they speak what is necessary. The world prefers soft songs, but you were born to sound the alarm. You are not here to entertain, you are here to awaken. And awakening always costs comfort. Your words carry weight because they are soaked in experience. You've lived through the lessons you now preach. You've felt the pain you now warn others about. That's why when you speak, hearts tremble. It's not volume, it's authenticity. You've become a conduit of heaven's heart, translating divine whispers into human language. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 1, Verse 9. Then the Lord reached out his hand and touched my mouth and said to me, I have put my words in your mouth. End of. That same hand has touched you. You may not feel qualified, but heaven does not call the equipped, it equips the called. Every stumble, every hesitation, every tear has been part of your preparation to carry this word with compassion and clarity. You are not speaking from arrogance, but from anointing. The wilderness prepared your voice. The loneliness taught you empathy. The silence taught you authority. Now, when you speak, you carry the sound of one who has walked through fire and survived. You've earned the right to speak healing because you've lived through breaking. You've earned the right to declare freedom because you've known captivity. Your voice is not just sound, it's salvation for someone still trapped in silence. Chosen one, don't underestimate what happens when you speak. Heaven listens. Hell trembles. The earth shifts. Your obedience releases power beyond your comprehension. Each word you release is like a key unlocking chains you cannot see. You are not talking into empty air, you are shaping atmospheres. There will be resistance. Not everyone will welcome your message. Some will misunderstand your boldness as pride, your passion as rebellion, but do not shrink back. The wilderness made you bold so that fear could no longer tame you. You carry words that disturb comfort zones because truth is never gentle when it confronts darkness. Your words are seeds. You may not see the harvest immediately, but trust that every seed finds its soil. Someone will hear what you say and finally see hope again. Someone will remember your words when the night grows long. Someone will find their faith again because you dared to speak when silence felt safer. So lift your head. Chosen one. This is your moment to speak with the authority heaven has entrusted to you. You're not here to argue, you're here to announce. Your calling is not to win debates, but to awaken hearts. Heaven doesn't measure your success by applause, but by obedience. Every time you release truth, you partner with eternity. You become heaven's echo in a world filled with noise. You might feel small, but every whisper of obedience shakes something unseen. When you speak truth from a surrendered heart, angles move, strongholds crumble, and captives begin to breathe again. This is your sacred assignment, to use your voice not for self-promotion, but for divine proclamation. And if your voice trembles, let it. Heaven moves through trembling vessels. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's obedience despite fear. Now, let this word take root in your heart. If you feel it stirring something inside you, if you sense that this season is calling you to speak, to declare, to rise, write it below as your declaration. I will speak. End quote. When you type those 3 words, it's more than a comment. It's a covenant. It's a line drawn in the spirit that says, you refuse to stay silent while heaven moves. It's your signature agreeing with your assignment. Because your voice, chosen one, carries heaven's authority. And the world needs to hear what's been hidden inside you for so long. Chosen one. Courage is rising in you, like dawn after a long, weary night. You faced storms that tried to silence you, but now heaven crowns your endurance with authority. The fear that once controlled your steps is losing its grip, replaced by a steady fire that won't be quenched. You've been refined through fire, prepared through pain, and now you are being anointed with courage for the next ascent. Courage doesn't roar, it breathes quietly through obedience. It's the whisper that says, go again. When everything inside you wants to stop, it's the step you take when the path ahead is invisible. Courage doesn't mean you never feel fear. It means you choose faith while fear trembles beside you. Every time you move forward despite trembling hands, heaven records that as victory. You see, courage is not the absence of weakness, it's the mastery of surrender. It is knowing that your strength alone is not enough, yet walking anyway because you trust the one who goes before you. Every brave act begins as a trembling decision. Heaven doesn't wait for your confidence. It moves through your willingness. The voice of God thundered in the book of Joshua. Chapter 1, Verse 9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you. These are not just ancient words. They are your personal marching orders. Courage is your new language. Faith is your new rhythm. And obedience is your new path. You are not walking into uncertainty. You are walking into fulfillment. What looked like chaos is simply heaven's choreography preparing you for revelation. Chosen one. Imagine your life like a candle. For a flame to shine, the wick must burn. The burning represents surrender, the quiet giving of yourself so that others might see light. The brighter you burn, the more the darkness retreats. Your courage is that flame. Every act of faith, every brave yes to God is a spark lighting someone else's night. You may think your actions are small, but heaven multiplies what's offered sincerely, just as a single pebble creates ripples across a lake. Every time you stand in courage, you send waves of faith outward into lives you may never meet. Your obedience is never wasted. It's a seed sown in eternity. Now, I want you to hear this with your heart. The work heaven is doing through messages like these, through words that reach you in moments of doubt, is sacred. Every story shared, every truth spoken, is a spark sent into the digital wilderness to find someone who needs light. When you choose to like, share, subscribe, or even donate, you're not just supporting a voice, you're fanning the flame. Your small gesture becomes a torch in someone else's darkness. Somewhere, there's a soul scrolling through silence, praying for a sign, and your act of sharing may be the bridge heaven uses to reach them. When you support this flow of messages, you become part of heaven's chain reaction. This isn't about transaction, it's participation in divine movement. Think of a river again. Beloved, one drop may seem insignificant, but when many drops flow together, they carve valleys, move stones, and bring life to barren land. Each time you give, engage, or share, you add your drop to the current, and that current is carrying truth, comfort, and awakening to hearts that are thirsty for hope. So, if you ever feel led to pour back into this ministry, to donate, to help the message travel further, do it not from obligation, but from overflow. Give as one who has been given much. Share as one who has seen the light. Because this flame doesn't belong to me. It belongs to us, the collective of chosen hearts who dare to believe that words can heal the world. Your courage, your engagement, your generosity, all of it builds the bridge heaven walks across to reach others. Never underestimate what your contribution means. Even a candle flicker can ignite a forest when it touches dry ground. And the world, chosen one, is dry ground right now. It is waiting for sparks of truth, for flames of faith, and you carry both. So walk forward in courage, stand firm in faith. Let your flame burn freely. And when you see another candle flicker beside you, lift it higher. Together, we light the night sky. Together, we show the world that the chosen are not silent, not selfish, and not afraid. You were not chosen just to receive light, you were chosen to become it. And every act of courage, every word shared, every seed sown ensures that the fire will never fade. Chosen one. As courage begins to settle in your soul, heaven starts to reveal the greater tapestry of connection, the gathering of the remnant. You were never meant to walk this path alone. Across the world, other chosen ones are awakening, hearing the same call in their spirits, feeling the same pull toward divine purpose. You may not know their names or see their faces, but their spirits recognize yours in the unseen. There is a holy convergence taking place, a reunion of souls separated by distance, but united by destiny. You have felt it in glimpses, when someone speaks a word that mirrors your thoughts, when a stranger's prayer sounds like an echo of your own, when your spirit stirs at messages you were meant to hear. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Heaven is gathering its warriors, the remnants of those who refused to bow to fear, compromise, or conformity. The world sees chaos, but heaven sees choreography. The Spirit is weaving together hearts that burn for the same purpose. You've been through your wilderness not to remain isolated, but to recognize your tribe when they appear. Those who have walked through fire can always spot the light in another who survived the same flames. That is how the remnant finds each other, by the glow of scars that turned into strength. It was revealed through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. You are rising, and so are others. The same light that lifts you now draws others toward their awakening. The remnant is not a crowd, it's a collective of souls who understand that revival begins not in temples, but in hearts. Together, they become a living temple, carrying presence wherever they go. You have been strategically placed where you are for this very reason. Your city, your circle, your workplace, they are your field. You may think your life is small, but heaven plants great trees in hidden soil. You are a seed of change. And as you grow, others will recognize your fruit and realize they are part of the same orchard. Chosen one. When remnants gather, revival begins quietly. It doesn't need stages or applause. It begins in whispers, in conversations over coffee, in prayers said under breath, in tears shared between two who understand the same pain. The kingdom expands not through noise, but through presence, and you carry that presence now. Every generation has its remnant, the ones who refuse to trade conviction for comfort, who choose holiness over hype, who carry heaven's fragrance in places that smell of decay. You are one of them. The loneliness you once hated was training you to discern authenticity from imitation. Now, when you meet another true one, your spirit leaps like Elizabeth meeting Mary, recognition without explanation. Heaven is uniting the scattered, weaving a net of light across nations. Some will meet physically, others will connect through words, through prayer, through digital threads, different bodies, same spirit. And though you may never stand in the same room, the same fire burns in your hearts. Together, you are becoming the reflection of divine unity in a divided world. Do not underestimate the power of this gathering. When the remnant aligns, darkness loses territory. When the chosen link hands in prayer, its strongholds crumble quietly. What governments cannot legislate, the Spirit transforms. The remnant carries a revolutionary peace, a silent strength that does not demand attention but commands change. You've longed for belonging, But heaven waited to introduce you to those who share your spiritual DNA. They're coming drawn not by coincidence, but by calling. As you stay faithful, you will begin to recognize them by their fruit, not their fame. They will speak your language, the language of truth, of grace, of unshakable faith. And when you meet them, it will feel like home. Conversations will carry weight. Prayer will feel electric. And worship will break through dimensions. Together, your voices will harmonize with heaven's symphony. Each one of you carries a note. Together, you form the song of this era, chosen one. This is what you've been prepared for: the unity of the faithful, the awakening of the remnants. This isn't about building platforms, it's about building bridges. Heaven is calling forth a generation that doesn't compete, but completes one another. No jealousy, no hierarchy, only harmony. So hold your ground, stay steady, and keep your light burning. Somewhere, someone is watching your glow and realizing they're not alone. That's how heaven's army gathers, not through noise, but through light. And when enough lights converge, the night itself begins to fade. You are not alone. Beloved, you are part of something vast, ancient, and alive. The remnant is rising, and you are among them, chosen one. As heaven gathers its remnant, a holy stillness fills the air, a pause before the thunder. You can feel it in your spirit, can't you? That quiet tension between grace and judgment, mercy and warning. The Spirit is whispering one last time, stay awake. Because though love is patient, it is not endless in waiting. This is the season of the final warning, the sacred moment when heaven calls you to choose fully and finally whom you will serve. You've felt it, the restlessness, the unease, the tug in your chest, that something is shifting in the unseen. The world grows louder with distraction, yet your spirit keeps being drawn toward silence. That's heaven trying to reach you beyond the noise. The days of delay are ending, and the time for decision is now. Mercy still stands at the door, but its steps are lightening. The hourglass is almost empty, and heaven is watching who will move and who will remain still. This is not fear-mongering, it's truth wrapped in grace. God's mercy has lingered long because he desires no one to perish. But the door of grace will not stay open forever. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 42, "Therefore keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come." These words are not a threat, they are a rescue rope. Heaven does not warn to wound, it warns to wake. You've been given eyes to see what others ignore, ears to hear what others dismiss. You are not paranoid, you are prophetic. You sense what the world cannot, because you are aligned with a realm beyond time, chosen one. The danger of this season is not persecution, it's distraction. The enemy no longer needs to destroy believers, he only needs to keep them busy. Busy doubting, busy scrolling, busy chasing what was never meant to satisfy. Heaven is crying out for focus, for purity, for alignment. The grace you feel now is not casual, it's critical. It is heaven's final invitation before the shifting begins. You are being called into deeper obedience, not the kind that impresses people, but the kind that pleases God. No more half surrender, no more partial trust. This is the hour of all or nothing. Heaven cannot bless mixture, It only anoints purity. The Spirit is asking, will you choose comfort or calling? Will you stay where it's safe or step where it's sacred? You can feel it, the divine urgency pressing against your hesitation. Every delay has consequences. Every maybe later risks the loss of what grace is still holding open for you now. This is the last turn before the road divides. The mercy you've known will soon transform into movement, and those who refuse to move will be left in spiritual shadow. But take heart. Chosen one. This warning is also a window. There is still time. There is still mercy. The door hasn't closed yet, but it is closing. And heaven is looking for the ones who will not only hear but heed, who will not only receive but respond. This is not about religion, it's about relationship. Heaven isn't impressed by rituals, it longs for repentance. God doesn't want your performance, He wants your presence. What He's building through you requires full surrender, not selective obedience. The shaking that's coming will not break you if you are anchored in Him, but it will expose what isn't built on truth. Chosen one. Remember this: grace is not weakness, it's opportunity. Every breath you take in this moment is proof that heaven still waits. The same mercy that spared you before still speaks today, but not as softly as before. The tone has changed. The Spirit is saying, move now. You are one decision away from acceleration. One act of obedience can rewrite everything. But heaven will not drag you. It invites you. The door is open, but you must walk through. Now, if this word resonates in your spirit, if you feel that unmistakable stirring, the one that says, this is for me, write this number below as a declaration: 777. It is a prophetic symbol of divine completion, of perfect alignment between heaven and earth. When you type it, you're not performing a ritual, you're responding to revelation. You are saying, I hear you. Lord, I choose obedience. I choose alignment. No, let this act be your agreement with heaven. Every number typed becomes a visible yes in the spirit realm, a sign that the chosen ones are still listening, still watching, still ready, because the time is now. Chosen one, not tomorrow, not someday. Now, chosen one. The warning has been spoken, and now heaven's focus turns toward the sacred oil, the anointing that flows only through obedience. This is not the oil of emotion or appearance. It is the quiet, weighty oil that only those who have bowed low can carry. You cannot purchase it, imitate it, or pretend it. This oil costs something deep. It costs your will, your pride, your plan. Every generation produces a remnant, but only a few carry the oil. Because the oil doesn't flow through talent, it flows through trust. It doesn't rest on those who want recognition, but on those who desire revelation. You, chosen one, have been crushed, so the oil could flow. Every disappointment was a pressing, every delay was a squeezing. Every heartbreak was a vessel breaking open for heaven's fragrance to pour out. You've asked why it had to hurt so much. And heaven answers, because cheap oil evaporates quickly, the costly oil, the kind that heals, restores, and breaks. Yokes flows only through those who've endured the crushing without losing their worship. You are being entrusted with that kind of oil. Heaven can now pour through you because you no longer leak through pride. Your vessel has been sealed by surrender. The prayers you whisper now carry a weight you didn't have before. Your words carry fragrance because they've been distilled through tears. The apostle reminds us in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 15, "For we are to God the pleasing aroma of Christ among those who are being saved and those who are perishing." And that is what you are becoming, a fragrance of heaven in the midst of decay. When you walk into a room, something shifts. When you speak, the atmosphere bends, not because of you, but because of the oil you carry. The anointing changes what logic cannot. It mends what therapy cannot touch. It reaches hearts that words alone could never reach. Chosen one. Obedience is the gatekeeper of this oil. Heaven cannot pour into vessels that resist the process. The measure of your surrender determines the measure of your anointing. The reason some never overflow is because they never truly yield. You cannot hold on to your will and expect heaven's flow. You must lay it down daily, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. The oil flows through alignment. When your heart beats in rhythm with heaven's, the flow becomes effortless. You will not need to chase opportunity. Opportunity will recognize your scent. The anointing announces you before you arrive. That is why the enemy fought your surrender so fiercely, because he knows once you yield fully, you become unstoppable. But understand this, the oil is not for show, it is for service. The anointing is not a crown to display, but a towel to carry. You were not anointed to impress, you were anointed to heal, to lift, to restore. Heaven gives authority only to those who understand humility. That is why you had to be broken before being trusted. The crushing season purified your motives. It taught you that ministry is not a platform, but a posture. You now carry the ability to feel what others feel, to weep with those who weep, to intercede with compassion instead of judgment. That empathy is part of your oil. It's what makes your presence healing without words. Chosen one. When heaven looks at you now, it sees not the wounds, but the wisdom. Every scar glows with oil. You've learned that obedience is not always grand. It's often hidden in small choices, forgiving when it's easier to resent, giving when it costs, staying when leaving feels right. These are the quiet acts of worship that keep the oil flowing. Guard your oil. Not everyone deserves access to it. There will be people drawn to your light who only want the warmth, not the weight. Discern who is sent to receive and who is sent to drain. Protect your intimacy with God fiercely. It is the source of your flow. Soon, the world will begin to notice what heaven already knows. You carry something rare. People will come not because of your charisma, but because of your consistency. They'll sense peace around you without knowing why. That's the oil working. It's invisible, yet undeniable. Beloved, stay humble. The oil flows best through low places. Every time you bow, it refills. Every time you worship, it deepens. Heaven is not looking for perfect vessels, only poured out ones. You are that vessel, cracked, crushed, yet consecrated. And because of that, you will never run dry. When the time comes to pour into others, you won't need to force it. The overflow will speak for itself. And those who encounter you will not remember your name. They'll remember the scent of grace that lingered after you left. That is the legacy of the obedient. To smell like heaven in a world that has forgotten its fragrance. And you, chosen one, have been anointed to remind it once more. Chosen one, After the oil comes revelation. When heaven pours, it doesn't just anoint, it unveils. This is the season when what was hidden begins to be revealed. The years of obscurity were never punishment. They were preparation. You were being prepared in silence so that, when heaven's light shines, you could stand without trembling. Now the time of unveiling approaches, the return of glory. You can feel it, can't you? The weight in the air, the stirring of something greater than what your eyes can see. Heaven has begun to showcase what it's been shaping. The same God who hid you is now calling you into visibility, not for fame, but for function. You were never meant to stay hidden forever. You were meant to emerge when the timing aligned with heaven's heartbeat. The season of hiding protected you from premature exposure. Had you been revealed too soon, your gift might have drawn attention. Your character couldn't sustain. But now, because the refining is complete, glory can safely rest on you. You've been tested in private so that you can be trusted in public. You have passed through the fire, and the residue of it has become your radiance. As the ancient words recorded in Romans chapter 8, verse 18 declare, I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. And for, you see, glory is not something that merely shines upon you, it shines through you. It is not external light, it's the manifestation of what heaven has placed within. When divine glory returns, it doesn't decorate your life, it defines it. Every dark thing you endured becomes the backdrop against which that glory gleams brighter. Chosen one, the unveiling is never gentle. When heaven exposes what's been hidden, it's not just about recognition, it's about responsibility. The glory is not an ornament, it's a calling. Those who see the light on you will be drawn to it, but they'll also project expectations upon you. Don't mistake their awe for understanding. Only heaven truly knows the cost of your radiance. You will notice that the people who once dismissed you will begin to notice you again. But their recognition cannot be your validation. Glory is not dependent on applause. The same light that attracts many also exposes much. That's why humility must be your anchor. If pride enters, the light dims. Stay low. Stay rooted. Stay real. The return of glory is not about individual exaltation. It's about collective illumination. When one chosen, one rises in truth, others see permission to rise too. You become a mirror reflecting heaven's brilliance, not a statue demanding attention. The glory you carry was never meant to stop with you. It is meant to multiply through you. Chosen one, heaven's glory doesn't arrive with noise. It often appears quietly, like dawn breaking through fog. Suddenly, what was impossible becomes effortless. What was hidden becomes clear, and what was heavy becomes holy. You'll begin to sense favor, opening doors that were sealed for years. Not because you've worked harder, but because you've finally aligned completely. This is the season when hidden things find light. Talents, callings, relationships, assignments. What once seemed dead will stir again. The same spirit that hovered over chaos in Genesis now hovers over your life, preparing to speak the words, "Let there be light." But glory requires stewardship. You must handle this unveiling with purity of intention. The temptation will be to cling to what shines rather than to the source of the shine. Yet the moment you seek glory instead of God, the light fades. Stay anchored in gratitude. The higher you go, the deeper your humility must grow. Remember, glory is heavy. It's meant to rest, not rush. You cannot carry it if you keep chasing approval. Let the present speak for you. Let your stillness testify louder than your striving. People will ask, "How did this happen?" And your only honest answer will be, "Grace. Chosen one." As heaven's glory begins to surround you, it will draw both favor and opposition. Light always reveals shadows. Some will celebrate you. Others will misunderstand you. But all will witness what heaven has done. Do not hide again out of fear of visibility. You were hidden for seasons, but now your revelation serves others. Walk softly. Carry this glory like a flame in cupped hands. It is power wrapped in peace, majesty cloaked in meekness. The return of glory through your life is heaven's statement that the dark season is over, that what once seemed wasted was only waiting for its appointed unveiling. Soon, the world will not just hear of God's goodness, they will see it reflected in you. That is what the return of glory truly means, not the elevation of self, but the evidence of heaven on earth. Chosen one, the light has come. Stand in it steady, surrendered it, shining, chosen one. The moment has come, the great commissioning. Heaven has refined, restored, and revealed you. Now it releases you. You are no longer in preparation, but in purpose. The same fire that once tested you now burns as light through you. You are being sent not as one seeking glory, but as one carrying it. This is your divine assignment, to take the flame you've received and bring it into a world starving for warmth. You are a torchbearer. The oil that once filled you in secret is now meant to pour out in public. You are not leaving the presence of God. You are taking it with you into every conversation, every room, every encounter. The way you speak, forgive, and serve will carry the fragrance of heaven into the dust of the earth. Remember how the prophet Elijah passed his mantle to Elisha. The transfer wasn't flashy, it was faithful. You, too, carry something that was never meant to end with you. The glory that rests upon your life is a continuation of every surrendered heart that came before you. You are part of a divine relay, holding the torch that others prayed to see. According to what is revealed in the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 1, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, for he has anointed me to proclaim good news, to bind the brokenhearted, to set captives free." This is your calling, to be light where darkness lingers, to be peace where confusion reigns, to be hope where despair has made its home. Every step you take from now on is an act of divine representation. You are not merely living, you are carrying heaven's embassy within your being. But remember, a flame untended can dim. You must feed it with faith, with prayer, with connection. That's why we gather here, to strengthen the flame together. When you like, share, subscribe, or comment, it's more than digital motion, it's devotion in motion. You are saying, "I'm part of this movement. I believe in this fire." Now, think of it like building a lighthouse. One beam may cut through a small fog, but when many lights unite, even the thickest darkness must yield. Every act of engagement adds another beam to this lighthouse of truth. Somewhere out there, another weary soul will see it and find their way home. And if you ever feel led to give, to donate, To pour back into the well that has refreshed your soul. Do it not from obligation, but from overflow. Think of it as adding oil to the collective lamp we hold together. Each offering, whether a word, a share, or a seed, keeps the flame alive for those who still wander. When we give, we don't lose. We extend light, Father. You are a living message now. The words you've received are meant to be embodied, not stored. Someone out there needs the testimony you've been afraid to share. Someone needs the wisdom your scars have earned. Someone is waiting for proof that light still exists, and that proof is you. Chosen one. When you speak, speak with grace. When you move, move with purpose. When you work, work as one carrying divine weight. Your job, your art, your words, your love, they are all sermons in disguise. Not everyone will enter a church, but they will encounter you. Let them feel heaven's warmth through your kindness, heaven's truth through your integrity, heaven's compassion through your presence. Understand that influence isn't measured by numbers but by impact. One heart transformed outweighs 1,000 indifferent eyes. That's why every time you interact here, comment, share, or give, you become part of something much larger than this moment. You're not just consuming content, you're contributing to a movement. The kingdom doesn't spread through noise, but through resonance. Your voice, no matter how small it seems, matters in this symphony of light. If this message has touched your spirit, let your presence here be known. Leave a comment below, not for recognition, but as testimony. Share what this journey has meant to you. Words have power, and your words may be the seed that awakens another soul. Together, we're building not a platform, but a pathway, a bridge for lost hearts to cross into faith, into peace, into hope. Each act of engagement is a brick in that bridge, and when you give, it isn't charity, it's construction. It's partnership with heaven's architecture. So, below, chosen one, go forth in confidence. You are not walking away from this fire, you are carrying it forward. And every time you give, share, or speak life, you pass the torch to someone else. That's how light travels. That's how movements begin. That's how heaven expands. The commissioning is not about applause, it's about assignment. You are ready. The world is waiting, and heaven is smiling. Chosen one. When obedience matures and the commissioning is fulfilled, the time of manifestation begins. This is the sacred hour of prophetic fulfillment, when the things spoken long ago begin to take form before your eyes. What once existed only in your spirit now starts to materialize in your reality. You are walking into the visible evidence of invisible faith. The promises that once felt distant are drawing near. You can almost feel them breathing in your atmosphere. There's a holy familiarity about it, as if your spirit recognizes the season before your mind can explain it. This is the unfolding of prophecy, not as thunder, but as quiet alignment. Everything heaven whispered in secret begins to echo through your life like a song finally finding its chorus. Chosen one. Fulfillment never arrives in chaos, it arrives in divine order. The same God who spoke creation into existence is now speaking completion over your journey. Every detour, every disappointment, every delay has been absorbed into his design. What seemed wasted was woven. What felt random was rehearsed. Heaven has been building the stage in silence. And now, the curtain begins to rise. You will begin to notice subtle shifts. First, doors opening without effort. Relationships forming without striving. Clarity replacing confusion. It will feel surreal at times because you've grown so accustomed to waiting. You might even catch yourself preparing for another storm, forgetting that this time it's rain for harvest, not rain for testing. You are not being tried now, you are being trusted. It is written in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the vision waits for an appointed time, though it tarry. Wait for it, for it will surely come. It will not delay." That appointed time is here. Heaven's promises don't expire, they mature. Every word God spoke over you carries its own internal clock. And when the divine hour strikes, nothing can stop its unfolding. Not resistance, not doubt, not delay, because prophecy is oxygen to time, and time always obeys its creator. Chosen one. What you're walking into now is not reward for endurance, it's the revelation of purpose. You weren't waiting for blessings, you were waiting for alignment. Blessing without readiness becomes a burden, but alignment transforms it into assignment. Heaven was never preparing things for you, it was preparing you for things. The fulfillment of prophecy rarely looks like what we imagined. It comes wrapped in humility, disguised in simplicity. Joseph saw a dream of ruling nations, but first found himself managing a prison. David was promised a throne, but returned to tending sheep. Fulfillment often arrives as responsibility before recognition. That's how heaven protects glory, by making it look ordinary until the appointed moment. So, when the doors begin to open, walk through them quietly. Let humility guide your steps. Do not announce what heaven can reveal by itself. Your fruit will testify louder than your explanations ever could. What you're stepping into is not for show, it's for stewardship. The light now resting on you was meant to serve, not to shine for vanity. Chosen one. Fulfillment will also test your posture. Many can endure pain, but few can endure glory without drifting into pride. This season will demand just as much surrender as the wilderness did. The difference is that now your obedience will be public. People will watch your response to success as closely as they once watched your response to struggle. Stay anchored. Let the oil of humility keep your spirit pliable. This moment also carries restoration. What you thought was lost forever will resurface, but better. Relationships healed, opportunities resurrected, dreams reborn, not recycled, beauty renewed. Heaven doesn't return things in the condition they left, it upgrades them. Your life will soon bear evidence that nothing surrendered to God ever truly dies, it's only planted. There will be awe when fulfillment unfolds, but also quietness, because deep down, your spirit already knew this day would come. Every tear you sowed in secret becomes laughter in the open. Every promise you repeated to yourself in the dark becomes reality under the light. The same hands that pruned you are now presenting you. Chosen one. Breathe in this moment. It is sacred. You have crossed from promise to performance, from word to witness. Heaven's silence has turned into song, and you are part of the melody. Still, remember, fulfillment is not the finish line. It's the doorway to new assignments. Every prophecy completed births another promise. The story of your obedience continues, deeper and wider. This is the rhythm of heaven. Revelation, refinement, fulfillment, And then, new revelation again. So walk forward with steady grace. The season of waiting is over. The appointed time has arrived. What was spoken in mystery will now be seen in manifestation. And every eye will know it was never your strength that made it happen, but His word that refused to return void. Chosen one. The promise stands fulfilled, and the fulfilled stand ready for greater glory. Chosen one. This is the moment all your seasons have been leading to the crowning moment. Not a crown of gold or fame, but the invisible one of divine affirmation. The years of pressing, breaking, waiting, and rising have converged into this single truth. You made it through. The heavens bear witness. The earth recognizes it, and your spirit finally exhales. You are standing at the threshold of destiny, clothed not in pride, but in peace. The crown you now wear was not handed to you, it was forged in fire. Every act of surrender shaped it. Every unseen tear polished its edges. Every night you chose to believe. When belief hurt, most became a jewel set in its design. This is not a reward for perfection, it's a declaration of endurance. You didn't quit, and that is what heaven crowns. You are the embodiment of every prayer your ancestors whispered, the fulfillment of promises that outlived the people who first carried them. Heaven never forgot. Every generation carried a piece of what you now hold, and through your obedience, that story continues. You are a living continuation of divine faithfulness, proof that what God begins, He always completes. The Word of God declares in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 7 through 8, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day. Lend free. Those words are not only Paul's, they are yours. You have fought battles seen and unseen. You have finished races no one knew you were running. You have held faith when reason told you to let go. And now, the crown rests upon you, not as a symbol of status, but of surrender. Heaven crowns not the strongest, but the steadfast. This crowning moment is not loud. It's not marked by trumpets or applause. It's quiet, holy, radiant, a sunrise over the soul. You may not even feel different at first, but heaven knows. The weight on your shoulders has shifted. What was once burden is now authority. What was once warfare is now worship. You have crossed from survival into sovereignty. Chosen one. You now carry the posture of a king and the heart of a servant. That balance is what distinguishes heaven's royalty from the world's. The crown is not an escape from humility, it is its reward. You understand now that true power is found not in being exalted, but in remaining bowed. Every time you lower yourself in service, the crown gleams brighter. Look back for a moment. The path behind you tells a story no one else could write. You've walked through fire and didn't smell of smoke. You've been thrown into storms and learned how to dance in the rain. You've been misunderstood, misused, and mishandled, and yet you still love, still give, still believe. That resilience is your royalty. The world might never fully grasp what you've endured, but heaven celebrates every step. Angels mark the milestones of your faith like sacred memorials. The crown upon your head is not visible to eyes of flesh, but its light shines in the spirit realm. Darkness sees it and retreats. Heaven sees it and rejoices. Chosen one. Understand that the crown is also a commission. You are crowned not to sit, but to stand, not to rest, but to reign. Reigning doesn't mean dominance, it means stewardship. It's living as one who carries heaven's heart into earthly matters. Wherever you go, peace must follow. Whatever you touch must bear fruit. Every word you speak must carry grace and gravity. This crown is the seal of heaven's trust. God now trusts you with influence, with wisdom, with authority, because you've proven that your loyalty cannot be bought, and your worship cannot be silenced. You've been through enough to know that glory without God is hollow. That revelation keeps your spirit anchored, even as your reach expands. And yet, even now, the crown is not the end. It's the beginning of a new realm of responsibility. Heaven crowns you to commission you again. For eternity is not a single victory, it is a rhythm of continuous becoming. From glory to glory, from strength to strength, from calling to calling, you ascend. So, wear your crown quietly. Walk humbly and speak truth gently. You are not just crowned for victory, you are crowned for influence, for compassion, for light. The same world that once broke you will now be blessed through you. The same places that rejected you will now be transformed by your return. Chosen one. If you've reached this moment, pause and breathe. You've walked through the journey: fire, faith, freedom, fulfillment, and now you stand crowned in understanding. This message wasn't just a story, it was your reflection, a mirror of everything heaven's been whispering to your spirit. You are proof that endurance births beauty, and obedience births purpose. Let what you've received today remain alive within you. Don't let the flame fade when the screen goes dark. Share it. Let your light spill into other hearts that still wander in shadow. When you like, share, subscribe, or comment, you're not just reacting, you're reaching. Your engagement becomes a bridge where another chosen one might find their way home. Leave your words below. What part spoke to you? What line felt written for your soul? Every comment is a testimony. Every share, a seed of awakening. This is how heaven multiplies light in a world drowning in noise, one voice at a time, one heart at a time. So, beloved, keep walking, keep shining, keep believing. You are the continuation of this story, and heaven still watching, still proud whispers again, the time is now.